What's going on, everybody over on YouTube? Hope you guys are having an incredible day. Here I am in my new studio recording another masterpiece for you guys once again. So I had to, and I mean I absolutely had to record a video because the Review Bros just dropped a video. Aaron specifically from the Review Bros dropped a video announcing, from what I understand, that they are pretty much retiring as pre-workout reviewers. And there was so much things said in that video. First of all, I feel like that video came straight from the heart. And as somebody, as a fellow pre-workout reviewer that had to quit recently as well, about, what's it been, 3.5 months now, 4 months, I don't even know about, I think 3.5, 4 months, I had to quit for completely different reasons, health reasons, heart palpitations, I had an episode of AFib, I had to quit for health reasons. But there was so much stuff that was said in that video that I just finished watching, literally just finished it, about 14.5 minutes long. There was so much that resonated with me, and I really had to do a video kind of talking about it, explaining my feelings, and basically agreeing with a lot of what was said by Aaron. Now, the pre-workout industry in general, I 100% agree that it has been declining over the past couple of years. Now, I haven't been in the game nearly as long as the Review Bros. They've been doing it since 2018, and they're one of the channels that actually got me into pre-workouts and specifically into reviewing pre-workouts. Obviously, the original channel, the GOAT, is TJ Fitness Deal News. Seeing that Dark Energy review just got me so intrigued in what could be. And obviously, I then found the Review Bros, watched their Dark Energy review, which was bonkers and a lot of fun. And over the years, the pre-workouts obviously have been reformulating, changing ingredients, partially because of compliance, FDA giving them a hard time and whatnot. And I had a very immature viewpoint back then. Jokingly, I would always say F the FDA, kind of like how TJ used to say on his channel in his bunker. It's all kind of part of the shtick, right? Being that I was High Stim Ace and whatnot. But looking at it realistically, and I don't care if companies are going to come after me and call me a sellout or a backstabber or whatever, but I've always been honest to you guys, the viewers. A lot of this shit's no good for you guys. Just being real. Real talk, guys. A lot of this shit is no good for you. And really, if you're being honest to yourselves, a lot of the stuff that has the AA and the HA, you're really taking that stuff because you want to get a little bit of a buzz in the gym, maybe replacing a different type of high in your life that you no longer have access to. I'm only speaking about myself as somebody that used to smoke a lot of pot back in the day. And that kind of became a replacement for me. I replaced that with the pre-workouts. I took that high that I got from the pre-workouts, and instead of being at home munching and playing video games and bumming out, I channeled it towards training, towards something positive. But over time, it ended up causing a lot of damage to me personally, specifically the heart. Thankfully, I'm in a good place right now. I'm not on any medication. I am taking certain vitamins and supplements, so I'm doing all right. But I've already done an entire video covering that aspect of it, and I kind of want to talk more about what Aaron said today with the Review Bros channel, possibly ending. He didn't say it's ending definitively. He said he doesn't know where the channel's going to go. Now, one thing that really hit home for me was the fact that he mentioned right off the bat how much work goes into reviewing these products and putting out the videos. You guys, the viewers, just see one thing. You see the videos that are being put out. You watch the videos, you give it a like, maybe you don't give it a like, but that's all there is to it. Now, when it comes to actually making a video, first of all, you have to get the pre-workout. You got to run the pre-workout at least, in my opinion, twice, at least. There's reviewers out there that are personal friends of mine. I'm not going to mention names. Personal good friends of mine that run a product once and review it. And I'm not going to talk smack about anybody. These are people that I love from the bottom of my heart. But I personally always liked running something 2 to 3 times before dropping a review, because you can have an off day, you can have a bad night's sleep, and you're going to take a pre-workout, you're going to run it, and it's not going to do much for you. So for me to have an off day and then come on and record a review, it's disingenuous, because I can take it the very next day after getting a better night's sleep, and suddenly it's going to hit like a freight train. And I have literally had that happen so many times, and I've had the opposite happen, where a pre-workout would hit that first time amazing, and then even if I run it a couple of days later with a stim break, it wouldn't do all that much, you know? There's inconsistency sometimes within the very same tub, and that's why I personally always liked running something 2 to 3 times before dropping the review. So if you're getting a lot of products, and I know the review bros were getting a lot more product than I was, they're a much bigger channel. I'm at about 2,500 subs, they're at like 17 or 18,000, so I know that they were getting a lot more product, and they did have more advertising on their channels. I never had advertising other than the YouTube ads, you know, being a YouTube partner, which brings in very, very little money, by the way. You guys would be surprised how little money that actually brings in. But other than that, I never had advertisements. They did. They had to release 10 videos every single month, and it was a bit more of a commitment. With my schedule, I always wanted to put out at least 2-3 videos a week, and as you guys saw in my last couple of months before I retired entirely from the pre-workout game, I wasn't putting out videos as frequently because I've, you know, had my own things that I was dealing with, and I just didn't have the time, honestly. I didn't have the time to hit the gym as frequently as I wanted to, nor did I have the time to be putting out these videos. There's a lot of work that goes into it, you know? You got to record, and if you mess up, you got to do another take. You got to edit the video, which takes time, which, funnily enough, editing the video was actually always my favorite part of the process. I just really genuinely enjoyed editing videos, getting the perfect splice, putting in the perfect transition. I always loved editing. Maybe that's my calling, who knows, but I always enjoyed video editing. That's something I always liked, but it does take time. It's time consuming. And then putting it on YouTube, getting the perfect description. I never used AI. I only used AI maybe for like the last couple of months when I was doing it, just to kind of streamline the process. But all the descriptions, all the elaborate things that I was putting in on my own, and it takes time. It really does take a lot of time, and I can imagine the review bros, it was even on a much grander scale than what I was doing, because again, it's twice, maybe 3 times the work that what I was doing, and that in and of itself can sometimes take the fun out of it, and I can relate to that. I always enjoyed doing these reviews, but there were times where I was not feeling it. There were times where I had a long work day. I just wanted to come home, hang out with my girlfriend, maybe play a little Nintendo Switch, and just chill. You know, there are times where you're just tired, and even if I took a pre-workout and went to the gym and had a good experience, sometimes I don't want to review it. I just want to come home and relax, man. I'm working, I'm doing stuff, I'm going shopping, I'm doing things around the house. Sometimes I just want to chill the hell out, you know what I mean? So it isn't always as easy as, oh my God, I'm getting free product and now I'm going to come and review it. That's a very immature way of looking at it, and that's kind of how it was initially when I was first starting out. Obviously, I was excited about my first couple of affiliations because it's kind of validating that people start sending you stuff. That means they take your opinion seriously. It means you, quote unquote, made it in the industry. But what is making it after all anyway? It's all subjective in the end of the day, you know? Again, this is a very, our industry, the industry that I was in, the pre-workout review game, what the review bros were doing, it's a very, very niche market. We are not fitness influencers. We're not on the level of a, oh my God, I can't even think of any names right now, but like a Greg Doucette or a Buff Dudes or a Remington James, right? These are fitness influencers, or a Sam Sulek or whoever, you know? We're not on that level. This is a very, very niche community that is usually mostly active on Reddit, which I haven't been involved on the Reddit page in a long time, just very toxic and very exhausting, honestly, and very repetitive. So I left those pages a long time ago. But my point is that the process definitely can stop being fun after a while, and it feels like a drag. And I was definitely feeling that the past couple of months. There were genuinely times where I was hyped up and excited to do a review, and you could tell, if you know what to look for, you can tell which videos I'm genuinely excited to do a review for and which ones I'm kind of going through the motions. Now, I'm gonna say that I personally never phoned it in. I never actually did something half-assed. I would always get myself into the mental headspace where I would want to do it, but it took a while for me to get there. So I can imagine them with their workload, and even Aaron and Craig, they used to appear together, then they started splitting up the job, and they didn't appear in a video together as far as I know for a while. Now, I haven't kept up with their videos in the last couple of months because once I got out of the pre-workout game, I was out. I no longer follow anybody, really. I mean, if GGH, my friend GGH, puts out a video that has to do with like training or diet, then I'll watch it. But I'm no longer watching pre-workout reviews. I have no reason to watch pre-workout reviews. That life is behind me as far as I'm concerned. So I have no interest in watching pre-workout reviews. And Another thing Aaron touched upon in the video was he was talking about how the industry changed and everything's just kind of become generic and there's nothing new or revolutionary. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And you know, again, I haven't been around the block quite as long as they were, so their perspective in ways is more valid than mine because I've been around for a shorter period of time. I was using the High Stim pre-workouts for a shorter period of time, but even I started noticing all these labels started looking the same. It's all essentially the same variation of ingredients. It's all about which ingredients are sourced better, which one hits better, specifically for certain people, because certain people react differently to certain ingredients. There's quality control, there's batch consistency or inconsistency. So these things all kind of play into the larger scale of things. And over time, it's just become too much. It's become oversaturated. It's really become oversaturated. There's new companies popping up every day, releasing a pre-workout. A lot of them are just copy-paste formulas of each other. You do have companies that genuinely put good things out there, such as Apollo Nutrition. I've always been a fan of their products. I've always enjoyed all their stuff. And to this day, I continue buying their supplements that have nothing to do with pre-workouts. I get their proteins, I get their fiber, I get their hydration formulas, their intro workouts. So I still spend my own money to this day and age on Apollon. And it's so funny because people, when I was reviewing Apollon products, people would be always calling me a shill for Apollon, which couldn't be further from the truth, because literally the very first pre-workout I had from Apollon, which was Assassin V8, I did not like that pre-workout at all. And Robic even gave me grief about that, but I didn't like the pre-workout. It made me feel terrible. It tasted like shit. So I didn't like it. But everything that I've had since then, like 95% of things, were good. And with Apollon specifically, I feel like their non-pre-workout stuff are better. Like I said, the protein, the intra workout, the hydration formulas, the fiber, it's all that stuff that they excel at way more than the pre-workouts. The pre-workouts are kind of at the bottom of the list compared to all the other products that they do so well. But my point is that, yeah, this is kind of an end of an era because Review Bros have been around for a while. 2018, I mean, that's like 8 years, right? That's a long time. I was heavy on YouTube for like 3 years. I was doing it heavily for about 3 years, and it feels like a long time. It feels like a very, very long time. So I can imagine 8 years, that's more than twice. That's 2.5 times as long. And I enjoyed the Review Bros over the years. I really like their content. I feel like they were honest for the most part. So, you know, I wish them nothing but the best of luck going forward. And we'll see what happens. I'm also in a weird crossroads right now where I don't really know what to do with this channel. I have ideas. I definitely have plenty of ideas. But the amount of effort that it would take for me to change everything, yet keep it somewhat the same, and retain audience and viewership, it's a lot of work. And I have a lot going on in my personal life right now. I don't really have the time to, you know, if I had like a month off of work and I could just chill and keep getting paid, then yeah, I would definitely invest into it. But real life comes first. So I wish him the best of luck. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to touch upon. Oh, the viewership numbers, right? They were talking about how their numbers were going down. You know, my viewership has always been kind of up and down. I feel like it's been going in cycles. There's certain videos I would release, like when Juiced came out, that pre-workout, that was freaking insane. That one did crazy numbers for me, right? And relatively early on. And then there were other ones that didn't do that well. Even ones that were pretty hyped within the industry just didn't do all that well. So I'm not some analytics expert, if I'm being honest. I couldn't even tell you how the analytics work. I never even looked at analytics. You know, it just goes to show you how much of an expert I am. For me, it was really about the love of the game. I really enjoy taking these products, running them a few times, putting a review out there, and, you know, I would get a little kickback, nothing crazy, you know. Really nothing crazy. You guys would be surprised by how little money I actually made off the channel, but for me, it really was about the love of the game. But after quitting, after having that health scare, I came to the realization that I can have workouts that are just as good, training non-stim, maybe pairing a 50 milligram caffeine pill on top of it. My workouts haven't suffered. You know, as a matter of fact, I kind of enjoy my workouts a little bit more because I'm more present right now. I'm more in the moment, and I feel like it's real. You know, when I took something like Excelsior, which you guys know how much I loved Excelsior, the high was kind of guiding me. The high was putting me on autopilot, and I was just kind of going through the motions. Now I feel like it's actually me doing the work, and there's sort of satisfaction to it that is hard to put into words. But yeah, definitely end of an era. My thoughts are kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to wish the Review Bros the best of luck on their journey going forward. Still never got to try that non-stim pre-workout. They were supposed to send one to me, so if you guys watch this video, send one my way. I can definitely review it. I do still plan on doing reviews here and there for certain products. You have the Apollo Nutrition Bare Knuckle V6, I think it's V6, coming out soon. Definitely planning on reviewing that one. So there are going to be reviews in the future, but right now I'm in this weird crossroads. Not to mention that the studio that I used to use to record is kind of become my storage room right now, and I'm kind of in the process of restructuring things. So realistically, it could take weeks, it could take months until I'm back at a semi-regular schedule, but for the time being, we're gonna do our best to get there as fast as possible. Don't forget, guys, I do have a secondary channel, Ace After Dark. I'm gonna link it down below. It's a channel just for fun. I really couldn't care less whether it grows or not, but that's the channel that I kind of discuss things that I'm interested in, you know, the video games, the horror movies, you know, anything that has nothing to do with pre-workouts, things that I'm personally interested in, whether it's TCG, whether it's something about a new TV series, whatever I'm interested in talking about at that moment, some big breaking piece of news that is relevant to my life. If you guys are into it, if you care about retro content, video games, horror movies, pretty much any nerdy stuff, then give that channel a follow, Ace After Dark. Again, I'm not as consistent on there as I want to be, but once I restructure my studio and actually have a nice background, then I'm going to be more active on both channels. That is the plan. So for you guys that stuck around, I appreciate it. And I also want to give a big thanks to you guys that have been continuing supporting me indirectly by using the discount codes. All my codes are still valid, by the way. On NutriCartel, it's ACE15. On Apollo Nutrition, it's also ACE15, and so on and so forth. You know, if you guys are interested, first of all, I just want to say thank you, because I haven't put out reviews in months and people are still using my codes. So it really means a lot to me, guys. I appreciate you, love you all. And all my affiliate links are in the video description, so check it out. All right, Review Bros, thank you for your service. And it looks like we're both retired now, at least from the YouTube game.